I thought it was incredible they had it though. Never seen one before in person. I think I'm gonna have to go back and ask them to see it in person since I didn't before.
I'm curious how they got it.
Yeah, me too. And if they plan on holding it, if they plan on selling it at a card show.
Oh, somebody asked him about his legacy or where he was. He's like, "I'm up there." I remember him saying that.
Yeah.
He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore, and I think he and I know he considers himself on the Mount Rushmore of goats.
These previous generations made the game better. Made the game better for when he played,
Oh, they
and
helped
he
evolve
made
the game. They helped further the game to where it is today.
Welcome back, hobbyists. Another episode of the Hobby Bros Show. It's Chris and David here. Today we dive into the goats. But I did recently take a trip to one of our favorite card stores,
Nice.
Lefty's
Yep.
Card Store, and I was able to check out some of their more vintage cards. What I happened to run into something pretty interesting. I had no idea that they had a 1951, which is the true rookie card of Mickey Mantle, a Bowman 1951 Mickey Mantle rookie card.
Wow.
I think of VG3, PSA 3. Unfortunately, it's not on display. Well, for a good reason. They have it kind of tucked away somewhere in their store, but you can always ask to see it.
And run away.
I thought it was incredible they had it though. Never seen one before in person. I think I'm gonna have to go back and ask them to see it in person since I didn't before.
I'm curious how they got it.
Yeah, me too. And if they plan on holding it, if they plan on selling it at a card show
Oh,
or
I'm
something like
sure if
that,
the right price comes along, they're gonna sell it.
right? So that was interesting. But diving into our goat conversation, did you find or did you know that right now the hottest athletes in the card hobby market are Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James,
Figures.
right? And right now their cards are up quite a bit. Michael Jordan, his cards are up about 102% from the 1980s. His 80 cards. 1990
Wait.
cards,
So from the 1980s, they're only up 100%?
102%
From the
over 365 days,
There you go,
over a
over
year,
a
over a
year.
year. For his 90 cards, they're up 93.6%. Kobe's cards are up 118%, so quite a bit more than from Michael Jordan, and almost double or about double over LeBron James, who's only up 53%.
Only
Only
53%.
53%.
Like it's some bad thing.
Now, that's his sales. What about cards that have been graded? Michael Jordan, he's had 28,800 cards graded alone in the month of March,
Wow.
which compared to February, it's up 4%. So
So those
still an increase.
cards are being sent in to be graded a lot over the months. I'm curious why people haven't been grading them back
More?
no, back in the 1990s, early 2000s.
That's a good question, but I have a feeling it has to do with the grading process. Maybe it wasn't as fast. Maybe it wasn't as customer friendly.
Necessary. I bet you it probably wasn't as necessary back in
Yeah,
the day.
I think that's another thing too. The opinion of having your cards graded probably was not as strong as it is now.
Yeah.
But with that said, Kobe and LeBron are also up grading wise, numbers wise in the month of March. Kobe's up 9%, LeBron's up 26. I'm sorry. I misspoke. He is down LeBron 26% for graded cards.
LeBron is down 26% for graded cards. But you're talking about LeBron's cards that are still being produced,
Yes.
even including the paninis, the
Yes.
tops which have just come out. So I'm not a big fan of those cards, to be honest.
The
I'm not a fan of LeBron as a Laker cards.
the more modern, ultra modern
I'm
cards.
gonna if I'm gonna buy a LeBron card, I'm definitely buying one when he's on the Cavs, maybe the Heat,
Yes.
but
Yes. So that begs the question, why are these cards not being graded for LeBron? Is it because of injuries? Lakers not doing as good? Is it the fact that maybe he's not the superstar he once was, especially being on the Lakers with 2 other kind of rising superstars?
You think Austin Reeves is a superstar?
Well, I think he is. I think he started to ascend higher than where LeBron is now.
Really? No way, dude.
I think he's younger, I think he's more athletic.
Austin Reeves is a fine scorer and nothing else to me.
I mean, I'm not saying maybe he's not on the same level right now, but I think he's starting to ascend and improve. Maybe that's the focus now of the
Luca
Lakers.
is a ridiculous player.
Well, yes.
Then it's probably LeBron, then Reeves, and I think Reeves is a far third
Yes.
behind those 2.
The hobby has an opinion on the GOATs, but so does the sports world. And I think that's a big topic in the media, that's a topic with fans, who the ultimate GOAT is. We touched on a video of an interview, Michael Jordan on NBC discussing the topic of GOATs. I came up with a few insights that I got from what he shared. One thing that I think that overshadows this whole conversation for him is the fact that he doesn't really care or doesn't really sit at the top of his mind who the GOAT is.
Well, he says that publicly, and I think Michael Jordan deep down inside knows he's the GOAT. I think if you gave him truth serum, he would say, "Yeah, I'm the GOAT."
But would LeBron say the same thing? Would
For
Kobe say
sure.
the same thing?
I remember LeBron being interviewed a long time ago, and somebody asked him about his legacy or where he was. He's like, "I'm up there." I remember him saying that.
Yeah.
He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore, and I think he and I know he considers himself on the Mount Rushmore of goats.
Yes. So in order to be a GOAT, you have to consider yourself a GOAT in the first place.
Yeah,
Has to start with yourself.
yeah, right, of course.
I believe that. Another thing that Michael Jordan touched on was previous generations before him, NBA players, and the impact they had in evolving the game for him.
And to me, that's the biggest thing in terms of today we are such prisoners of the
Of the
moment.
moment.
We think that right now is the best NBA we've ever seen, which I can quarrel with because it's like this. In order for you to understand calculus, you have to know algebra first. And some teacher explained algebra to you in a way that made sense to where you could advance you could further your knowledge of math, right?
Yeah,
And so
skills.
these players like Elgin Baylor, Walt Frazier, even guys like Tracy McGrady, previous guys from history who really kind of evolved the game. And I say Tracy McGrady just because I don't know. To me, he was kind of like one of the first small forwards who could dominate a game.
Could handle,
He could handle. I mean,
could shoot, he could drive.
I think Jeff Van Gundy said if it wasn't for injuries, that Tracy McGrady had the potential to be like a Michael Jordan. But anyway, long story short is that we need to appreciate history a lot more. I think that's what Michael Jordan was saying in the video was that he gives a lot of credit to Jerry West, right?
Mhm.
Jerry West, the logo of the NBA. I mean, how is he not one of the goats, right? So what is it? 7 NBA finals?
7 or 8, and he only won 1.
Yeah, he only won one, but still, I mean, to be the logo of the NBA,
Mhm,
that says a lot.
mhm. So, he thinks these previous generations made the game better for when he played,
Or they
and
helped
he
evolve
made
the game. They helped further the game to where it is today. Although today it's kind of just run down the floor and jack up as many threes as you can
for some teams, yes.
for most teams.
But I think also related to that, he doesn't want the current generation of players to forget about the contributions of the previous generation. He thinks that that happens too often right now,
Totally. I'm 100% in agreement with you.
that they're crapping on the previous generation who set the mode for them, who they model their games after. And
Dr. J.
It's becoming too prevalent in media and nowadays and with the generation of our players. And
And I think it's because every generation who's watching basketball, football, whatever sport wants to think they're watching the GOAT to say, yeah, I watched, I saw this player, right?
yeah,
So but that argument, whoever makes that argument is that, oh, the game was so different back then and the athletes aren't the same today. They probably aren't, but by that very definition, then the GOAT will always be a future player,
or
right?
changing. The goal
Or
will always be
change.
changing.
Yeah. When I think I can firmly say, and I honestly never really saw Michael Jordan in his prime. I don't think I liked basketball at the time or was just too young. But the fact that so many NBA greats have said MJ is the GOAT, I'm going to give MJ his due props and say, yeah, he is. And the fact that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, after playing with him on the Olympic team, said, whoa, okay, this guy is doing things we've never seen. He's the GOAT. To me, Magic Johnson was the GOAT before MJ in terms of just how he made basketball with his passing and defense and just did so much for the game. Made it a national sport really in the 80s with Larry Bird.
Hmm.
I think if Magic said he's the GOAT, I'll give it to MJ.
So it sounds to me like you've come to the conclusion that there is one goat.
Yeah. And if I ever met Michael Jordan, I'd be so starstruck, just FYI.
I I agree in the fact. I don't know if I agree 100%, but most of the part I agree with because I did grow up watching MJ
Hey, look at
play
your
in his
shirt.
prime. Oh yeah, of course, perfect, right? That wasn't on purpose, but I watched him play in his prime with the Bulls and all those championships he won, and I can attest to that. Yeah, in my lifetime, I think he's the greatest basketball player I've seen
So in your lifetime.
in my lifetime. But I want to go back to the point that it's going to be always changing who the GOAT is because I did not see these
So you think the GOAT
players.
is fluid?
It could be fluid. I think it's fluid. I think because just like the game of basketball changes and it's fluid, and therefore the GOAT of basketball is going to be fluid and changing also, which is not a bad thing. But I think people need to realize that it's going to be based on statistics and it's going to be based on people's opinions, which vary all the time and can change all the time. So it's not a conversation that's going to have like a definitive endpoint or an answer,
Of course not. And
but
oh, go
it's
ahead.
it's it's always fun to compare and it's always fun to kind of dive deeper into who these players were.
I'm just glad you didn't say Curry's the GOAT. Phew.
I mean, Curry's not the GOAT because unfortunately we know that he doesn't dominate like Jordan dominates or dominated, I should say. And I think Jordan was, well, I'll let you. I know you have a point. So
I
go
do
ahead.
have a
Sorry.
point. Jordan is the GOAT to me because not only was he great offensively, clearly, but defensively, for as great as he was offensively, you could say he was just as great defensively, right? He won Defensive Player of the Year, which is pretty unheard. I mean, not unheard of, but I mean nowadays he goes always uses the big man,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Wemby's, Gobert. But
Mhm.
back in the day, right, he could lock down your best player, and the best players were.
He always wanted to
I mean,
guard
he
the
could
best
shut
player.
down that one side of the court, whoever he was guarding, right?
Yeah.
Um,
So he dominated. He was a two-way player,
he was
and
and he was fundamental, right? That's what Kenny Jet Smith always says. Super fundamental. And actually, when I've seen Jordan's games, he actually wasn't the best shooter, right? He like Kobe shot better than he did. Kobe had a higher field goal percentage,
statistically,
but Jordan scored average more points. Jordan better driver to the basket, I would say, and
maybe a better passer.
probably a better passer. And I think just like Kobe, but Jordan was the original. Just in those last 5 minutes, those clutch minutes of the game, all of a sudden he could score 15 points when you needed it, right?
Yeah,
Clutch gene for sure.
and he's 6-0 in the finals.
6-0, never went to game 7.
Never went to game 7, exactly, and I think he's at least is he a f is he's at least, I wanna say I don't think he won. Did he win MVP every time he played in the
Yeah, he
finals?
was 6 for 6, right? In 6,
So I
yeah.
think he's a six-time finals MVP too, so that goes right there to show that every time he was in the playoffs, he was the most important player, the most dominant player
And he won a regular season MVP basically, I think 4 years.
in a row, maybe?
No, I don't
No,
think he
no.
won 4 years in a row. But I think it was one of those where he was clearly the best player in the league, and then the voters just kinda got tired of like, "Okay, we're not gonna give it to MJ again."
Mhm.
Now all of this is to say what he did on the court, but think about what he did
Off the
off the
court?
court too. That's what you could even argue makes him the GOAT, right? Jordan shoes, the Jordan brand,
Ah, yes.
just the global impact Michael Jordan had. He's absolutely world famous. I would say even our dear old aunt who doesn't watch basketball
Sports at all.
sports at all probably knows who Michael I mean knows she knows who Michael Jordan is. She would know his face.
Definitely, definitely. I think another thing that on top of that, when he was a part of that dream team in the Olympics that dominated the headlines, 1992, right?
Yeah,
1992, the dream
1992.
team. I think that's when it kind of really put him up there
Yeah, that's
because
what I
then
said.
but you
Magic and Bird saw him do stuff in
yeah,
practice. They said, We've never seen anything like this."
but in games, I mean, in the games too, the Olympic Games, he was on the world stage.
Mhm.
World's
Yep,
able to
put
see
him on the
him.
really, really put him on the map
Yeah,
globally.
exactly. So he won Defensive Player of the Year in 1988.
Yep.
He was a 9-time all defensive first team.
Wow, that's insane.
And there's a second and a third team for
Yeah,
defensive player of the year,
yeah.
right? So, I mean, of course, he has multiple other records that he holds. So, all time, the highest career scoring average,
Yeah,
I
he has the
believe.
highest even above Wilt Chamberlain.
And, of course, to add to his accolades and performances in the playoffs, he has the highest scoring average in the playoffs, too.
Of course he does.
So, that's I think
We can see why his cards are gonna always be popular. We
his
can
cards,
see why his cards go up in value. We're not saying invest in them, but we're saying invest in them. At least that's my advice to you, and I think you and I are gonna really, really focus more on MJ cards moving forward.
MJ cards. In fact,
Inserts,
that's awesome that that there's a online resource, and they
and I'm
haven't.
holding it right now.
Well, yeah, we printed it out for you, but they have that's on a poster actually, which is really cool. A poster that has all the pictures of the cards. So looks it up. It's kind of expensive though, but that'd be kind of cool to get. But it lists these hobbyists and sports card professionals.
Yeah, is that a profession? I'm a sports card professional.
You know what I mean? Experience in the hobby. They all got together and they decided to come up with a tiered list of Michael Jordan insert cards. Now, these do not include autograph cards. No
It
autograph
looks like
cards.
none of them really include his after retirement too well, of course not because we don't wanna see him on the Wizards, but, like, 1999, right? They still had cards coming I guess there's 1999 or the bottom of the tier.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I mean, you want stuff when he was playing in his prime, of course,
exactly.
yeah.
But they broke it down into four tiers. The first tier being the most rare, sought after, possibly most
His rookie
valuable of
card.
his cards, and then the second tier, third tier, and fourth tier, and so on. So they gave us this list, and I found this list the other day, and it's awesome because
We're gonna get every
if you're
card on
chasing
this
after Michael Jordan cards, insert cards, this kind of gives you an idea of what's out there. It goes into detail too with numbers, with
pop counts.
graded cards in of the inserts.
Can you imagine if you had every one of these cards, what collection that would be?
That's crazy. That is crazy.
It would take, like, $1,000,000,000, dude.
But I tried looking, I believe, for something similar for like LeBron and Kobe, and so far I've not been able to find anything like that. So that another piece of evidence to show just how popular he is in the hobby, Michael Jordan.
Oh, plus another thing too, he was a shooting guard. I mean, he was a scorer that the fact that he was a shooting guard who could carry a team, because I don't think we've really ever seen that before MJ, right? It was always
Big man.
the big man who carried a team for the most part, right? Kareem.
I would say the other person before that, or even during MJ's time too, was Isaiah Thomas from
Oh,
Detroit.
but he won
He
in
won a
a
couple.
couple
Yes,
before MJ did. Before MJ really got, like,
but
became his
they were the
dominance.
Bulls' nemesis for a while before
Yeah.
MJ could win those
Finally, MJ got
championships.
over the
Yep,
hump, and he's, like, never looked back. And then, of course, so he won 6 championships in 8 years, right? No, or does it
6 championships and
because the 2 years that he
yes, yes,
retired,
yes.
I think the 2 years that he left basketball were the years that Hakeem won, which is cool. Like, I'm a Hakeem Olajuwon fan. I think he's actually one of the most underrated NBA players of all time.
He, I believe I looked this up, and you might have mentioned this before to me. The only player in NBA history
No,
to,
not the only player.
or second or third, right?
I think there's 3.
Three total. He won Defensive Player of the Year,
Olajuwon won
MVP.
MVP, defensive player, and a Finals MVP in the same year.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
that just shows you had the most dominant season
That's
ever,
just
right?
insane.
That's pretty
I
ridiculous.
remember. I
And
remember
you wanna know who the other player one of the other players is? Yanni, dude.
Giannis.
Giannis,
Oh hell
man.
yeah! The year he won his championship,
The year he won his
twenty
championship,
twenty one.
MVP, Finals MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year.
That's crazy. But fun fact. When Houston played against Shaq and Penny in the finals, Orlando, I forgot,
He
year
swept him.
94, 95. I remember I recorded it on VHS.
Well, how
Those
old are you?
games. I was like, what was I? Probably what 9? I was under 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But okay, so sorry, back to my point. He won 6 championships in 8 years, right? The 2 years he didn't win it were the Hakeem Olajuwon. But if he would have stayed in the NBA, I think it's
yeah.
fair to say he would have won those 2. Can you
That's
imagine? He would have
possible.
won 8 in a row. I think that's
That's
pretty unheard of in, like,
well. Hold on here.
well, I mean, the Celtics of the
Yes,
'60s with Russell, right? But there were only, like, 8 teams. But
yes,
I'm
yes.
saying I consider the 1990s still, like, pretty modern times, right? So to win 8 championships in a row, and you probably would have said he would have won Finals MVP too. So the only
So
thing that stopped Jordan from even being more of the GOAT was his own retirement to baseball,
it was.
which he did not succeed at.
There is a couple of his baseball cards too.
Yeah, which are
Upperjack has one. I think they might have a second one, or a different company has a second one of his rookie card, baseball card. Those are things also to that have some value too, I believe.
yeah. Well, these are all basketball cards.
So I think it's safe to say, audience, hobbyists, that you kind of got our opinion on who we think possibly is the GOAT.
No, it's not possibly. It is. It is. That is my opinion. Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and you can make other arguments for guys before him. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with LeBron. If people want to say LeBron, I know there's a lot of LeBron haters out there, but I'm a LeBron lover. Well, we can talk about LeBron next time about why I consider him at least top 2, top 3 for that. But I could also make the argument he's the GOAT.
Hmm, interesting. So,
And Kobe, although I don't consider Kobe a GOAT. I mean, not like above Jordan for sure not.
but again, back to the data we shared a little bit earlier in the episode, is interesting how Kobe's cards are shooting up higher than MJ's cards and LeBron's cards, sales and grading numbers.
I think possibly it has to do with Kobe was a more recent player than uh than
MJ,
MJ. So, and unfortunately his passing did probably shoot his cards up a lot. I mean, sadly, it kinda added to his
yeah,
legacy, the fact that he's no longer with us,
yes,
as sad
yes.
as that is. But, I mean, on the court, Kobe was so fun to watch, man. So, of course,
He was a killer. He was a
his
killer.
people are gonna love his cards, right? And we started buying some really cool Kobe's, right? Some really cool inserts from the early 2000s,
Mhm,
which are
mhm,
really sick, which I think
mhm,
we're gonna collect some more of, right? We're
mhm.
trying to get more
Definitely, definitely.
because we think it's another good investment you should definitely not do, but do.
That was a bad wink. I think I did. I think I winked
Yeah,
with
you
both
suck at
eyes.
winking.
But I think we should add on to our GOAT series. It's going to be a part of our next few episodes here with, yeah, discussing why you think LeBron could possibly be the GOAT.
And
What your
even
argument would be.
for the
Arguments.
well, we have the 3, right? We have for the hobby, MJ, Kobe, LeBron, but I wanna do a little deeper dive in further episodes about players who were the GOATs even before MJ.
Mm.
Like, I just read an article by Bob Ryan of the Boston Globe who said Robert Parrish.
Ah, I
If it
did
if
read
it
about him in
I
Beckett.
if it wasn't for the fact I think that he played for the Lakers, he would have been the GOAT because he played with such other great players, right? James Worthy, Kareem.
He played Celtics. He played for the Celtics also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Or Larry Bird, right? I mean, people don't if you haven't seen highlights of Larry Bird, do it. He was a crazy great shooter. Apparently, he talked so much trash on the court, which I absolutely love. So, yeah, I mean, I want to dive deeper into some other goats. And why are those cards, well, as sought after? I mean, they are the vintage are,
mhm,
but still, we haven't seen numbers like this where they shoot up 200% or 100%.
yes,
I'm
yes.
surprised not.
We can dive into the numbers also, the sales numbers, the even find some grading numbers on it also. These potential, or actually these goats that are kind of forgotten.
And now we're just talking basketball. There's also football, which
Yeah,
we love
there
too,
is.
right? Brady versus Montana.
Well, that's why we got a whole series coming up. Obvious.
Summer series is coming. Please listen.
Well, that's a wrap on another episode of the Hobby Bro Show. You've heard our takes. Now we want to hear from you.
Yep,
So please drop your thoughts, your comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe to our podcast, please. You can
please.
find us here on YouTube or also on Instagram at the Hobby Bros Show under. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm messing up our own Instagram at the Hobby Bros _ show. We'll catch you in the next episode. Don't forget, say it with me.
Keep
Keep
the
the
hobby
hobby alive.
alive.